Hi, welcome back to Flosstube number 12. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This channel is mostly about nail polish, but I have 12 Flosstube videos now. Started a couple months ago and have just been thoroughly enjoying the Flosstube world. Today we're going to be talking about my whips of the week. I have 4. One was the project that you and I randomly chose together last time I had a Flosstube. So I was going to say last week, but I don't do Flosstubes every week. I do them every other Sunday usually. So I did get some work done on that, and then 3 other projects, 2 of which were new starts, or were 3 of them new starts. I've been having a great stitchy last couple weeks. I've been able to get a number of things, just falling more deeply in love with some of my favorite designers and really enjoying stitching. I have also still been kitting some things up. So first we're going to look at my whips, and then I'll meet you back here and we're going to do another mini kit up parade as well. So let's start whips off with Mr. Fox. This is the pattern called The Fox from Cottage Garden Samplings. I think they just released the beaver, and so that must be maybe number 9 or 10. So I really enjoyed stitching on this. When I started it, because I started it for Mania, I didn't get enough into it that I could really see how enjoyable all the little geometric designs are that have been patterned in here. So here's what it's going to look like eventually. And it's not a big piece. It's not big. So this is probably, like, if you're a fast stitcher, you could whip probably one of these up in a weekend or something. I am not a fast stitcher. I get very distracted. So anyway, but I did get a lot done. I'm going to put on the screen what was done after in the Mania video that I talked about this. So I will show you what it looked like before, which was like basically only this part, like right there or something. So I got quite a bit done and I'm really happy with that. I'm stitching this on Coat of Doves, which is a 16 count Ada, and I bought a fat quarter of it, so I can potentially stitch a few more, maybe all 4 of the winter guys on the same fabric, which I like. I am not an exclusive linen stitcher. I tend to stitch on linen more, but I liked this very much too. So this is stitched 2 threads over 1 on 16 count Ada. And I think this is the only thing I stitched on this week that had 2 threads on it. So anyway, this was my first whip and I really enjoyed that. Since I will be putting it back into the rotation, I don't know when next I will stitch on this, but I want to sooner than later because I really like it. By the way, what's on my fingers today is I suggest we form a calming circle, which is a new Moonshine Manny shade that we created together on Saturday's Swatchfests mix along, where you can make custom nail polish with me. So that's what is on my nails today, in case you are wondering. Alright, so I didn't actually start the week stitching on the Fox. I started stitching on this pattern, which I don't know if you can recognize what it is, but this is Let Love Rain. This is a Teresa Kogut design, and here is how it's going to look in the end. So if you want to learn more about her Patreon, I will put, it's a nice big piece. I will put information on her Patreon in the description bar, as well as any other info you need about any of the patterns that I'm stitching today. So, yes, this is stitched on a piece of 46 count. I don't remember what the initial color was because I hand dyed it. I added a lot of tan and a little bit of rosy tones. And I discovered very soon into stitching this that this is maybe a little bit too small for my naked eye. I really do enjoy stitching on 40 count and 36 count. And this 46 count was just a little too small. I'll push in a little bit so you can see what I've been doing. I don't have a before and after picture to show you because this is this was a new start this week. So I really like this, and it has quirky earthy shades, and it's really nice and blue for a sampler. That's different for me. But because it was so small, I invested in some magnifier lenses, and then when I was stitching with them, it was making me feel very nauseated going back and forth between looking at the pattern and looking at my work because I couldn't use the glasses for both. So I have a learning curve to get used to those lenses, and I don't find that I need them unless I'm stitching on something higher than 40 count. Unless I'm in like, if I'm in really, really strong lighting, I can see this a little bit better. But in any case, this is all I got done on it because I was like, I was tired out after a couple days of trying to stitch on this with 46 count. So that is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. All right, next I have another new start for you, and this one is This Happy Morning from Plum Street Samplers. I have been collecting them because I love that designer, and I finally started a project. So this pattern is, I guess, a little bit harder to find. I don't want you to go crazy for it, looking for it online, because I was trying to find where I could link for you in the description bar below, and my friend actually purchased this for me at Country Sampler. And so, yeah, I don't have a good place for you to find this online right now. I'm stitching this on a piece of Morning Fog, which is a 36 count linen. I just have a nice big fat quarter, and I found that I really love the look of this pattern and this design on this blue shade. It's like a blue teal, a little bit more blue than teal. Some really lovely modeling, and this is a Be Stitch Me. This was a fabric of the month from Be Stitch Me. So yeah, super enjoying it. I am a top left starter typically, so you're gonna see a lot of top left starts from me, but I'm doing this. This is 1/2 on 36 count, and I'm really enjoying it. I was super excited to start my next project, which is why I stopped here. Otherwise I would have kept going because I really like it. And up here in the corner is how it's gonna look when it is finished. So that is This Happy Morning vintage version by Plum Street Samplers. And my final whip that I'm going to share with you today is Scary Sampler from Heartstring Samplery. This was on my top list from things that were released at Expo recently, and so I pre-ordered it, and I was so excited when I got here that I could start stitching on it. So this is stitched on a piece of 32 count Belfast linen that I just got at like Hobby Lobby, and then I hand dyed it to give it this. There's a lot of green, but I believe it just has that kind of gray, odie kind of base color. So there's a lot of different shades of blue, or I think it was actually more like, I think the grit dye was charcoal, and then greens over the top too. So if you aren't familiar with this pattern somehow, it looks like this. And Heartstring Sampler is the same company, is the same designer that did Consider the Lilies. And, but for this Halloween, she created this really quirky sampler, which just kind of looks like, oh, that's a little bit of a spooky sampler. That's what I thought at first look. And then you get it and find out that, Scary Sampler, did I say spooky sampler? You get it and find out that there's this really awesome description. I actually noticed this before I got it because I was looking up info about it because I was just too excited. And she has all these Easter eggs hidden in the pattern, which is so cool. So I'm not going to take time to talk about all of them, but I'm starting on the border, which means that I'm working on the Demigorgon heads. So if you just thought these were cute flowers, these are Demigorgons, which is so cool. There's going to be an alien head that shows up right here. So I just love, like, if I were a cross-stitch designer, I would probably put Easter eggs in every single one of my patterns. I love it so much. It's so cute. So anyway, I was really excited to start stitching on this, and like I said, I'm usually a top left starter, so I'm up in here. I've done these 3 heads, and then actually, have I done 3? No, I have not. I have not done this guy yet, but I want to get down here to the meat. I thought about starting in the bottom right because I just want to, like, I want to do more than border, so I'm probably going to get down here and I'm going to work through these words next, I think. Then this is the Death Star. This is for Jurassic Park because these are pterodactyls, I think. And this is the tree from Harry Potter. and there's just so much stuff. So I'm really excited. This is Beetlejuice down here, this worm. So if you haven't checked out this pattern yet and you want to stitch something spooky, I really recommend. There are a lot of greens in here. And so I was a little bit worried about my fabric choice, but it's working out just fine. So this green down here is Collards by Weeks, and it is very prevalent, and that's the one I was the most worried about, but it seems to be going okay. So that is my fourth and final whip. All right, so those were all the things that I worked on this week. I didn't get as much stitching done as I would have liked, but I think that's probably the story every single time. We always wish that we got a little bit more done, a little bit more stitchy time. It's just so calming and wonderful, meditative to sit there and stitch. I just really, really love it. As with my last video, I let you guys know I haven't stitched anything on a hoop or Q-snap since before that video. I continued that trend in this last 2 weeks, and I've just been loving it so much. I just love having everything so tightly right next to each other, and it just feels so comfortable to me. So really, really enjoying that, whether it's on Aida or linen. It's been a great time for me. So next I'm going to do a little mini kit parade. So about as many kit ups as I had in the last video, we're going to do those again today. So I have a few more to share with you. So let's go ahead and look at these. So basically this isn't necessarily haul. This is where I've taken a step further than just stashing something, where I've actually thought about the linen that I want to stitch it on and picked up or floss dropped the flosses that I want to stitch them with. So let's go ahead and look at those. So this is Long Dog Sampler's Spangled, and you might notice that you're going to see some of the fabrics that I used in my kit up last week, because I have since measured a little bit more and decided that things weren't going to fit, so I changed linens and things like that. So linens have had a little musical parade. So anyway, this is this gorgeous long dog, and I don't think I've actually started a long dog yet. I have many plans for long dogs, you guys. So this one is just so beautiful, and I was surprised when I ordered all the flosses about all these colors. So the fabric that I have picked out is this Fabric and Flare Dried Petal 40 count, which is a very rosy mauve kind of shade modeling going on there. So that's what I picked out, and then just all of these lovely shades on top of it. And there are a couple pinks in here, but I think, you know, they're going to be just fine against that. So a lot of fun colors. So excited to start this piece. Don't know when I will, but Long Dog is definitely one of my favorite designers, and I just got really, really pumped about this piece for some reason. So anyway, there's that. All right, here is the next pattern that I have kitted and ready to go for whenever it strikes my fancy. Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. I am sure you've seen this pattern before. If not, let me introduce it to you. It's just so, so delightful. There's a little pear up there, so cute. And there's some nice bright pinks and reds in here too, which is fun. So I have hand dyed a piece of 28 count casual linen. I don't know why I chose this one, but I think that I had probably picked up some fabric at Hobby Lobby to practice some dyeing on, and this one turned out really nicely for this pattern, so I went ahead and went with it. So this has a mix of CC, GA, and Weeks, Gentle Arts, Classic Colorworks, and all of these beautiful muted earthy tones. So really lovely, quite a big floss list, but I think it's going to be really nice with this slightly peachy, it's like a peachy rose modeling that I've done on here with the low immersion method. So yeah, that's Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. The next pattern that I have kitted up, I'm going to put an image up for you on the screen, is Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. So it was after I think I started the Plum Street This Happy Morning that I was like, oh wow, I really love how things are looking on blue. Maybe blue is my new neutral, I don't know. But just when I started looking at all of these threads that these designers are using when they're designing a little bit more prim, a little bit more washed out, less vibrant tones, they all look really nice on light blue. So that is my plan to stitch this. That means it's gonna look way different from the sampler, but I'm not mad about that. So really, really excited for this one, and maybe a sooner than later start so that I can be working on this in the winter months. So this is Winter Rose Manor, Brenda Gervais. Oh, and I forgot to tell you what the fabric is. This is just a 28 count Lugana, I believe, and it's just a hand-dyed piece that I've done. All right, another piece that I am working off just the PDF in my phone, but I printed this out because it was so cute and made me so happy to look at it every time when I wanted to go through my kit ups. This is Autumn Lane, and this is the pattern Something Wicked This Way Comes. As you can see, the model is stitched almost all entirely in black over a kind of gray, blue, purpley vibe. So this is my kind of wild card here. I was working with some grays and purples, but I didn't start on white. I started on, I don't know, something similar to like a vintage country mocha, and so it made a really different kind of look. I think this is like a 32 count scrap that maybe I got at well, it's not really scrap size, but I don't know what size this is. It's not a fat quarter, and I think I picked it up at Shepherd's Bush and then had fun playing with it. So here are the colors. I have not finished floss dropping apparently, so I need to because I want to start this soon because Halloween vibes. So we do have a little bit of purple in here and some yellow grays, but the majority of the color, I'm going to need like 100 skeins of this probably. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure how much I'm going to like this because this is one of my less favorite pieces that I've dyed, just because I wasn't aware of, this was one of the first things I did and I didn't know how this was going to look with that tanny color. So I don't know. I have thoughts about it, but we'll go ahead and see. All right, so next we have Dancer from Barbara Anna. This will be my first Barbara Anna start as well, and I have collected a number of hers because I think her patterns are just so cute. But then I saw this stitched on Sarah Stitchy's spot. I think she just finished it, and Stitching Faye is doing this one too. And I remembered that this can be found in the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine online subscription, which I subscribe to. I'll link that in the description bar below. They just released a new edition, which has a lot of good, awesome patterns. So this is from maybe like last Christmas or something. And it's very budget friendly, and you get access to like all of the past designs. So I highly recommend. So this is stitched on this adorable little splattered paint kind of look. So I went to make sure to get this specific piece of fabric because I saw Heidi from Stitching Faye stitching on this, and it was just so, so cute. I loved it. So this is called Basalt, I think, Splash with white dots. It's a Lugana, and it's a 32 count. So anyway, I'm going to stitch it on that because I love how it looks on that. So that is the plan. Okay, next up we have Oh Holy Night, and this is from Stony Creek. And I think I got this at 123 Stitch. I was watching a whip parade or something like that, and I saw this beautiful nativity scene, but it was a Haid piece, and I don't want to start another Haid piece. So then I went searching for beautiful nativity scenes, and so Heidi found me this one actually and linked it to me, and it was a great price. But oh my goodness, this piece has so much floss, and I went ahead and purchased it all from 123 when I purchased the pattern. It's so color heavy. There's so many colors. So this kind of put me off to floss dropping for a minute. I hadn't floss dropped so much since I floss dropped the Haid piece. And I mean, it just has so many beautiful colors. I'm really excited to stitch it. But also, I realized after I was done floss dropping that I needed to have floss dropped these half as long because I'm going to be stitching this 1/2 on 40 count, and so I don't need super long lengths. Like, I like to have them this length when I'm doing over 2, so I can just do the start method where you fold it in half and get going. Oh my goodness. I'm at 2 over 1. So yeah, I want to start this and I'm really excited. It also required some Mill Hill beads and some blending thread and a few other specialty things, which I did also get at the same time. So I really love it, and I love the nativity, and it's like a big project. So it just feels really big because of all of this like huge like head of hair. This is thicker than my head of hair for sure. I'm stitching this on a 40 count piece of linen. I got it Rouge stitching, it looks like. And it is called Morning Mint. So it's a little mintier, obviously, than what you see here is more like a powdery blue, medium powdery blue. But this is the piece that I had that I thought would be nice to stitch this on. So we're going to give it a go. All right, so next is a Carolyn Manning called Butterfly Weed. I really respond to this because it has a lot of yellows and oranges and reds and, well, greens too. But these are just really happy colors to me and feel very autumnal as well. So I'm going to try something interesting, and I'm actually going to stitch this with a dark background. I think I'm going to love it because all of these colors against there are just making me real happy. So this is a piece of Picture This Plus 28 count Lugana in Shadow. I guess I used to order a lot of Lugana. It's not my fave to stitch on, I've learned, but it's still fine. And I think I'm stitching this 1 over 1, like my Tisket a Tasket. So that will be interesting, but my Hade and my Tisket have already shown me that it's possible for me to do. So I'm gonna give it a go. We're just gonna give it a go and try it out, you know, give it the old try. So that is my plan, and I'm really excited by those colors. This is not technically an autumn piece, so if I don't get this started this fall, I think I'll be okay, but still, I think it's fun. And I had been searching for something to do with this piece of fabric that I purchased back when I was first learning about purchasing linens online, and I just hadn't found one yet. So, ta-da! I've been getting more brave about stitching stuff on 28 count because I was watching Stitching Mommy. She's actually taking a little break from Flosstube right now, I think. And she stitches a lot of stuff over 1 on 28 count. So sometimes I watch that and I'm like, whoa, she's doing like everything on that count. I can do 1 or 2 pieces on it, you know. It encourages you to try hard things when you watch Flosstube. So I have another Paulette Stewart design in Friendship, kitted up, and this is from her line called Plum Street Samplers. And this is just a sweet sentiment to stitchy friends or just friends in general. Really, really beautiful. So I'm going to stitch this over another piece of hand-dyed fabric. Are we noticing a trend here? I really like to dye my own fabric, I'm learning. So I think this is a piece of, this is either 40 or 46 count, I'm not sure. It was just like an antique white, and then I layered it in shades of, there's some rosy tan in there, and then I put some nice marigold over the top to give us that coloration change there, and I really, really like it. And I think that I either divided this piece of fabric into 2 or 3 because this pattern wasn't very big. This is a 158 by 158. So I am going to use, you're going to see this piece again sometime. I don't remember if it's in this video. Yes, I think it's very next. So yes, these are all of the beautiful shades. No immediate plans to start this, but I am excited for it when I get there. All right, yes, this fabric has made a reappearance. This is for a Blackbird Designs Halloween pattern. I'm going to put a picture of it up here on the screen for you. It's called A Wavy Ride. I'm really, really excited to start it, and it's Halloween-y, so it better get started sooner than later, right guys? So good thing I love this fabric that I dyed, since I have 2 pieces now with it on there. Got a little bit deeper here, which I really like that as well. So yeah, a lot of, again, this isn't black, but it's onyx, and then at the bottom there we have Garden Gate. So a lot of dark threads, not exactly black, but getting me super, super in the vibe. We also have here Wood Rose and Wood Smoke. So for those lovely, some of those lovely neutrals, look at this one too. Oh, this one's so beautiful. That one is, if you guessed, Pecan Pie. Ding, 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 you were right. So anyway, super, super excited for that. So the second long dog kit up of the day, working off a PDF for this one. Well, I will be when I start it, but this is Sneak, and I am gonna do this monochromatically, although I'm planning to use, ta-da, this hank of silk, which, as you can see, is giving us a really nice variation of color here. And then I'm putting it on this, again, slightly rosy neutral for the base. This is a piece of 40 count. I don't know what I started with, maybe platinum. And so, yeah, this is the silk called Love from Mrs. Sedas Imas. And I can link that in the description bar below. And I actually purchased a number of these hanks and split them with my friend Heidi, because it's plenty enough for one, you know, pattern to use a half a hank. So you'll see more silks coming up later on in the video. The next chart that I kitted up is again from Teresa Kogut's Patreon, and this one is called Remember Me. And so this one just has all of these beautiful big open flowers, this adorable house, and in Sampler September month I've just felt like, you know, all the samplers all the time. So this is going to be gorgeous, and I'm going to be stitching it on blue again. I told you, it's like blue is my new neutral. So I must be missing a few of the rosier toned flosses for this pattern. I love this one. I think this is like the only, or one of the only over-dyed threads, but isn't this pretty? So, but mostly it's DMCs, I think. And so, I mean, like, here's a little bit of rose, but I told you I got exhausted from floss dropping after I was working on that Stony Creek, so I need to floss drop these. But I don't know if I'm going to start this one immediately, so I think I have a minute. In a minute, I'm going to need to floss drop this. By the way, look at this beautiful flower. I'm not well acquainted with gardening and horticulture, but that one is just so cool. So I'm going to be stitching this on a piece of, it says Valkyrie. It's a 28 count Jobelin that I got from Under the Sea Fabrics back in the day when I was first starting to watch YouTube, or Flosstube, when I was first starting to watch YouTube. I think I was getting a lot of 28 count Jobelin. I don't really know why. But, yeah. And also, I guess I must have put this on here somehow, because I just took this out of the wrapper for the first time, I think, since purchasing it. But there's like a yellow marking that's going across there. So that's going to be my own little personal quirky little bit from this fabric. I mean, I guess I could, nope, it's on the other side too. It's actually stronger on the other side. So that's all right. That's all right. It'll be on my own cute little thing to make it personal. So that's going to be Teresa Kogut, Remember Me. Okay, here's the next one. We're actually getting to the end. So this is a Moira Blackburn, and this is the Three Things sampler. I think I must have seen this on Sarah's Stitchy Spot or Stitching Faye, but it's just so, so cute, and it has the most gorgeous soft colors, and not the same ones that you're seeing in every single sampler right now. So I was really, really excited to get this. I probably got this like on the first day of Sampler September after watching somebody's video. This has a pretty high stitch count on the one side. So I have a fat quarter of 46 count cream. And I think, I'm going to shock you right now, I think I'm not going to dye it to give it any modeling or anything. I think I'm going to leave this one as it is and just look at these colors. I mean, these are all DMCs, and aren't they just gorgeous? I just love them. I mean, so I'm not going to have a variegated look in the work, but it's all these little motifs, and I think that that's fine. So I think where I'll miss the variegation is going to be up here in these bulbs, but that's okay. That's okay. So, and look at the little brownish reddish deer. Have you guys been counting all of the deer that look just like that are showing up in like every sampler? So anyway, excited for this, but I got a little bit anxious about starting it after just having started Let Love Rain on 46 count and being like, oh, this might be a little too small for my eyeballs. Anyway, I'm going to give it another try. I bet it's going to be great. This next kit up is an iffy one for me because I'm not sure if I want to do another one on 28 count Lugana over 1. I'm just not sure. So I might not be at my finished state with this one, but this is the current plan. So this is for Blackbird Designs Christmas Garden, and I'll put up here what it's going to look like in the end. This is on it's a very light wash of gray over this, and then a tiny, tiny bit of gray modeling, which I liked for this, these flosses here. It only calls for these 4 flosses. And then, I like the idea of it. I just don't know if I want to do another 28 count right now. So this may be changing, but I might just try to, you know, pull my pants up and do it. So, but I probably won't start this till, you know, late November or something to get me in the Christmas mood. All right, next we have another Plum Street, and I got this in anticipation for wanting to work on something very Thanksgiving-y in November. This is the Gather In. I saw this on Virginia Stitcher's Flosstube, and I was like, oh yes, mama. And so yes, I snagged this up. You're gonna see a lot of Plum Street in this video coming up in the haul. But in any case, I'll probably start this shortly after Halloween. And I might just, again, leave it on this plain piece of 40 count. This is Alabaster. And I just love it so much. The coloration of this is slightly grayish kind of color. It's just so, so beautiful. So again, another set that's not fully floss dropped because I need to do the DMCs. But there's a lot of floss for this puppy, so I'll get to it. I'll get to it probably right before I actually start stitching it. So really, really excited for that. That's the Gather In from Plum Street. All right, I think this is my last one. This is Autumn Cloche from Hello by Liz Matthews, and this is another one I was really, really excited to stitch on coming out of Expo. And so I have chosen this piece of, it is flax, 40 count flax. Looks like I got it from 123 Stitch. Liz and her mother, Kathy, usually suggest MPI silk, so this would be my first MPI silk stitch. Because I will usually, not always, but you guys have noticed on this channel, I will usually opt for overdyes or DMC rather than silk, but hey, we're giving the MPIs a go. So I think I'm missing 2 more colors that were kind of hard to find, but this is definitely enough to get a good start on. So that's Autumn Cloche. All right, so next I am going to talk about hauls. I have purchased a number of things this last couple weeks. And some of the things I purchased a while ago, like the silk hanks that I want to share with you, they just took a while to get to me. So we're going to look at all of these stitchy items that I purchased. And I wish that I can kit up all of these items, but you know, you just take things a little bit at a time. But I am really excited about all of these things. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, we're moving on to hauls. So I'm going to share with you the hanks of silk that I got from Mrs. Sadas, the same place that I got the silk I'm going to use for Long Dog Sneak. And like I said, my friend Heidi and I have shared these because we don't both need so much of every color. So this is the shade called Toxic. There's these really gorgeous tropical colors in here, and so I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but it's going to be awesome. We also got this very deep burgundy. It's almost purpley. It's called Rouge. I thought it was going to be a little bit more dark red rather than such a deep burgundy purpley shade, but that's okay. So it's just really, Really gorgeous. This next one we got is called Oxide. So many rusty marigold kind of shades in there. And then we're going over into gray and blue. And there's just like this little bit right there has so many colors. I'll zoom in for a second. It has so many colors just in that little bit. It's so beautiful. And then this is the final one that we got. This one is called Avatar. And so there's all of these slightly berry leaning rusty browns in here, and then going into gray, and then of course blues and greens. So it's just so beautiful. Let me just double check. Yeah, that one's called Avatar. So I will link that info in the description bar. Fair warning, it did take quite a while to get to me. So just a heads up on that, because it is coming from overseas, and I haven't shopped from Silks For You yet to tell you like how it compares. So anyway, I'm excited to stitch with it. All right, so we're going to move into haul, and first I'm going to share with you some physical charts that I have, and then I think I have a few PDFs that I ordered this last couple weeks. So this is GGR, and this one, I don't know how to pronounce the name of it, but I'll just put it down there. So I told you before that my friend Heidi, sometimes when she's at a store, she'll text me or call me and be like, hey, do you want this? So this shop was having, that she was at, was having a 50% off pattern sale. So I got a few patterns from there, and I just love that. It looks like a castle or a temple, and it's so, so beautiful. And I ordered the flosses that go with it, and I just can't wait to see how this is going to start coming to life. So Rosewood Manor is one of my favorites, and so I do really enjoy snagging their designs. And this is Rackstraw Hill. I believe that I will probably stitch this not on orange, so I'll have to see what I choose, but I just feel like I can't see the colors as well because it's contrasting too much with that back color. But I'm excited for that. Rackstraw was not from the 50% off sale. This one was though, so I think this is Riley Harbor. This is from Kathy Varick, and oh, it's so beautiful. This pattern reminds me of why I want to start Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. I don't have it yet because I'm like, I need to work on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow before I buy Shores of Hawk Run. But just so gorgeous. And then look at these houses in here. They're like this awesome chartreuse color. So cool. All right, this one I think I got from 123 Stitch or somewhere online. I don't remember purchasing this in person, but it's another Rosewood Manor Autumn Hill. And the colors are just so, so yummy. And it says in there that she started this new series for the hills. So this is the autumn one, so I'm guessing next we'll get the winter one. So really, really love this. All right, so you may remember from forever ago, I actually forget to haul stuff that I've purchased a lot, but I have the 5th Day of Christmas from Hello by Liz Matthews, and I saw actually a couple people mention lately that they were planning to stitch all of these rectangles together in one big piece. And I really, really want to do that. It looked really cute how they were doing it. Although I'm probably going to do it over white, but this kind of color looks awesome too. But maybe it wouldn't look that great behind all of them. So I probably better do white. But anyway, so that's my plan. So I have the 5th one. I wanted to get the 1st one. I got to plot out what size fabric I'm going to need. I think I joined the Facebook group for this Sal. And so maybe I'll find more information in there about what size fabric I'll need to combine them all. So this is another pattern that Heidi picked up for me at the 50% off sale. Chessie and Me. I think this is my first from this designer. This one is called Springtime of Youth. And it's just so cute. Look at the little rainbow strawberries. I feel like those look like pride strawberries. They're so cute. This one was another one that she found at the discounted sale. The Phoebe Warner quilt, which I love this maker anyway, this designer. But, you know, it's called the Phoebe Warner quilt. So, hey. So, Rosewood Manor. And we have these little birds in here. We have this little shepherd guy with these teeny tiny over 1, probably sheeps. And then just all of this vining within these flowers, really beautiful. Here's the next one that she found at that sale. This is the Garden Glade from Carriage House Samplings, which a lot of the patterns from that brand are designed by Kathy Barrick. So I feel like this looks like Scarlett O'Hara. This is like the Scarlett O'Hara lady because her dress is scarlet. And she just looks like she's just like in her beautiful countryside with all of the animals around her. And she's just like, I couldn't care less. I'm just holding my flower and I've got my giant gown. So anyway, this pattern is pretty darn cool. I've seen a couple people stitching on this lately. So I think this is my first Scarlet Letter pattern, and this is another pattern from that 50% off sale. Heaven is My Hope. And again, it looks like it's got like a little castle in there. It's so cute with the sheeps grazing, and look at this interesting bordering that I don't think I have on any other sampler. So yeah, super cute. Another Kathy Barrick from that sale, My Mother's House. There's no place like my mother's house. And look at those big old chonky flowers. Woo! Another Karen Kluba from Rosewood Manor, Corners and Curves. And this one is so enticing because firstly, the colors. It's kind of like the butterfly weed. But there are all these different motifs which go so nicely together, but you're not repeating anything except for, you know, this circular one here. You're going to repeat that 4 times, but it's just so awesome because you work on it and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to move on. And you get over here and you're not going to repeat something you did on the other side. I love this. I love this. I just love, 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 love. So super excited about this. It even has all this fine lining in here and the black work in that teeny tiny lace detailing. So, wow. All right, and here's another one that she snagged for me at that sale. This is Winter from the Cricut Collection. I have a couple other from this brand, designed by Vicki Hastings, and I don't think I have any. Oh yeah, I have like January, I think. But I don't have any of the other months. And I don't have any of the other seasons. So now I have winter. All right, the rest of these are not sale patterns. Welcome to Our Patch. I believe this is new from Market, from Annie B's. And it's just so adorable. And all the colors I want to be stitching on as soon as Halloween is over. This is another Market release, I believe, from Hello by Liz Matthews. And this one's called For a Friend. I got this at Shepherd's Bush. And the little penny rug, the rainbow that you're getting in there is just so, so pretty. And this is a small stitch, so it's really delicate florals. And then all these nice complementing motifs. I just think it's so cute. All right, now we're just going to get into a whole stack of Plum Streets that I picked up on at Shepherd's Bush because I'm just learning that I just love this maker so much. So this designer. So this first one is A Gentleman's Daughter. And the sentiment says, he is a gentleman and I am a gentleman's daughter, so we are equal. So I feel like that's from some kind of Jane Austen novel or something. I'll have to Google it. Next, I got my Early Days. And I just thought there's so much going on in here that is so, so beautiful. Now in my early days, teach me thy will to know. And of course, by Plum Street. Next, I grabbed this Joyous Season. Repeat the Sounding Joy. Just a really gorgeous giant house. You've got a sleigh, some deer, trees, berries. So, so fun. Then this little guy, Home for Christmas, and again, you've got the central house, berries, but a very different look. Doesn't that just look so cozy? And then lastly, I picked up Cinnamon Stars, and this one I'll be starting the 1st of November-ish, and I just love it. Look at the stone in that house. But then you have all those warm oranges and golds and browns. So beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to show you the PDFs that I purchased. I purchased 3 PDFs from Long Dog Samplers after perusing the Facebook a little bit and seeing posts there, and I immediately went over to the website to order a different pattern, which I'm going to show you last, but I also snagged this. This is Dragon Hall, and it's kind of like spangled where it's less densely packed and it's not monochromatic. This one is really cool. This is Albert and Effie, and the story that goes along with this is really, really neat. It's about like a Stitcher's dream world, like an upside down world or something. There's so much to look at on this pattern. It's incredible. So I'm really excited to get going with this one. And then the pattern that I actually went there to pick up was Pandemic. And of course, I've seen this pattern for a long time, but the image on the right is a stitch done by somebody who purchased this PDF, and the designer posted this to their Facebook group, and I was just like, whoa, this is so cool with all of these different DMCs. I was just totally enchanted, so I've got to figure out how to replicate that. Another PDF I ordered in the last 2 weeks was this Seasons in Lace Spring from Jan Hicks Creates, and she has 4 versions of this, so winter, autumn, and summer as well, and I'm planning to stitch them all as one big piece, and I'm really, really excited about it. And then the last thing that I purchased online was a membership to the Stitch Along with Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. They're going to have a whole year-long Halloween-themed wreath, and so I just went ahead and picked that up just in case I'm interested in stitching on it sometime in the next year. It might be fun to go ahead and start that. So I definitely have been watching a lot of Flosstube in the last few weeks, found a number of new channels. So as always, whenever I have found a new channel that I'd love you to take notice of, I put in the description bar below. My favorites are still Stitching Faye, Sarah's Stitchy Spot, Mama Loves You GB is one that I really, really love. Carol Saltbox Stitcher, her last Flosstube was so wonderful. It was like a sampler parade, and it was just so delightful. I really enjoyed listening to everyone talk about the retreat that they went to that had so many wonderful designers at it. I really wish I could have gone. It had like Blackbird and Teresa Kogut and Kathy Barrick, hello from Liz Matthews. So yes, if you are in need of Flosstubes to watch besides mine, I certainly always have a list for you in the description bar, and you'll also find down there where I went to purchase any of the things that I shared on today's video. So next we're going to choose the random pattern that I'm going to stitch on this week. So I'll be stitching on whatever kind of hits my fancy. That's how I like to stitch, because I don't really like to feel like it's work. I like to think, what would really make me happy to stitch on today? And then that's what I do. So however, I want to get some work done on my Mania 2022 starts. And so most of them I just started. I did 22 days of Mania this last May, and I just started them each a little bit, got a little tiny snippet on them, and then set them down. So I'm wanting to make a little progress. So right now we're gonna go ahead and choose from those. So we're going to pick a pattern for me to stitch on from Mania. So I don't know if you guys remember, I had 15 and I remembered 2 more that I was like, wait a second, what about those 2? So now we have 17. So I'm going to load up my random generator that we use for Swatchfest, and I will put in the max number of 17, and we're gonna see what I get, and that will be my Mania stitch for the next couple weeks. So let's see what we're gonna get here. Number 9. Number 9. I don't think we've done 9, have we? We did do 9. Oh, okay, so that's the one that I rolled the first week, so let's choose again. 4. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is the one I rolled the last video. Well, the universe really, really wanted me to do those 2. Okay, number 11. We have Flag of Stars. Okay, cool. So this is a bent Crete kit, and it's totally different feel stitching than anything else because it's using pearl cottons, I think. And it's a smaller one, so that'll be good. I feel like I got a lot done on this when I first started it because I was really, really enjoying it, and I just put it down because I was doing Mania. So excited to be picking that back up. Who knows, maybe I'll finish it. So as you could tell, I didn't have all 22 items on there. My tastes change over time, and I discovered that there were some projects that I just wasn't really interested in stitching anymore, or I'd actually finished it. Or one thing that I was doing last May is I was not measuring my fabric appropriately, so some things there's not even enough room to finish the design on, so those had to be DNF'd as well. So now that we have chosen that, I will talk to you about what my plans are for these next couple weeks. We're still in Sampler September, although halfway through till the next time you see me, it will be October. So I'm going to stitch a little bit more for my Sampler September. I will probably be starting another Plum Street because I'm just so fully obsessed. I will also be starting a project, maybe a long dog or an ink circles with one of those silk hanks, and I will probably be thinking a lot about Halloween stitching. So hopefully I have more Halloween things to share with you next time you see me, and that's pretty much it for this Flosstube. I hope that you enjoyed. If you are curious why I don't talk more about my life in these Flosstubes, during the week on my channel for nail polish videos, you get to hear a little bit more about my life. On our live Saturday videos, we talk about our weeks and what we've been doing, and I don't want to be redundant in these videos, but I thoroughly encourage you to come to a Saturday live video, and you can meet the community on my channel that is mostly comprised of nail polish lovers, but I know that these two interests definitely overlap and intersect, and maybe you really like nail polish and you didn't know, but there's lots of fun things to discuss in that world as well. So I think that's going to be about it for today's video. I hope you found something that you liked. As always, please share with me in the comments below what your favorite project is that you're stitching on currently. And I will see you back for another Flosstube in 2 weeks. But if you would like some more content from me, you can definitely check out the videos on my channel this next week. We have some indie polish reviews and mainstream, and we'll have a Saturday Swatchfest on Saturday, and maybe a nail art video. We'll see if I can get my buns in gear. We're going to be talking about fall trends 2022. So I will see you back very soon. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a super, super week coming up. And I'll see you later. Bye.